So, dear friends, we have come to the end of two very productive days. My special thanks to the Prime Minister and the Minister of the Economy and Commerce for their presence yesterday, and to our esteemed panelists who gave us so much to think about, and to each and every one of you for being with us all through the conference. I also want to thank the Qatar Development Bank and its CEO, Mr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Khalifa, for being our partner in making this event a success. ITC looks forward to working with QDB to ensure a dynamic, diversified SME sector, helping Qatar achieve its ambitious vision of 2030. Finally, we at ITC would like to express our gratitude to Qatar for being such a great host. We could not have picked a better place for the first World Export Development Forum to be held in the Middle East. As I said in my opening remarks, the World Export Development Forum is about talking business and doing business. Well, over 700 of us from 92 registered countries, including 26 LDCs, least developed countries, have talked business. And we have also done business. The incredibly productive B2B sessions have yielded around 90 declarations of intent to do business worth of a total of $80 million US. The prospective deals cut across sectors from bottled water and juice production to distribution services, and significantly, most of the deals were for South-South trade and investment. 5 trade promotion organizations from Georgia, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Vietnam, and Egypt have signed agreements of cooperation in export development that we hope will be extremely fruitful. We facilitated the meetings, but it is you who made these deals happen. Please do continue to update us on how this deal develops. We stand ready to help them bring to fruition, but more importantly, we stand ready to keep capturing the results of your work so that we can continue to whet the appetite of others. The theme of this WEDF was Innovate, Invest, and Internationalize. Companies, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, need to be able to do all three if they are to be backbone of sustainable, productive, and competitive economies. This is one reason the B2B deals struck here are so important. Operating across borders helps companies learn new ways to innovate and become more productive. But there is much that all of us, policymakers, businesses, trade and investment support institutions, international agencies, can do to create an environment more supportive of each of these 3 I's. And after exchanging views with you over the last 2 days, I am leaving with some more new ideas about what we can do, and I hope I'm not the only person that feels that way. I hope many more of you are also leaving with new ideas. Let's look at innovation first. In a session yesterday, we heard how technologies are leveling the playing field for SMEs to break into world markets through e-commerce. As one panelist said, 20 years ago, it took 10 years. It took years to internationalize, and now it happens in minutes. But companies need a digitally literate workforce to take full advantage of e-commerce. And even if more and more SMEs are born global, they still need help meeting regulation standards and other non-tariff measures. That's why earlier today, just now, we launched a publication and a tool aimed at helping SMEs take advantage of the fast-growing market for halal foods. E-commerce is an area where ITC is going to be focusing on over the next months, moving to the next stage in halal is also an area on which we are going to be focusing on. The next pillar is investment. Foreign investment can be an important vehicle for new ideas and modern technology. It can drive economic diversification, as we heard here in the case of Qatar, which in turn makes growth resilient to sector-specific volatility. We heard that regional integration can help achieve the market size that foreign investors seek. We heard the East African example, which was extremely compelling. Whether you enter East Africa through Rwanda or through Kenya, you get to a larger market than the sum of its parts. Now, we also heard that truly removing barriers and reducing costs and times within regions requires serious political will, something that East Africa has shown can work, and a willingness to confront special interests. We heard that special export zones can serve as laboratories for investment attracting policy reforms that can later spread countrywide. We also heard of the need to move from recognizing the importance of tourism services to ensuring more efforts are catalyzed at the national and international levels to make tourism our source of inclusive growth. We also heard of the importance of fostering investment relationships, in particular South-South investment. And investment is not just about physical infrastructure or about direct investments in factories. Investments is also about the country's biggest assets, its people. Investing in human capital, in building skilled workforce, is the key to success in the 21st century. This is why the ITC will continue to building on the skills for trade by expanding and deepening our SME Trade Academy. The final pillar is internationalization. It's no longer just about exports, it's about investment, it's about imports too. In fact, ready access to imported inputs is now critical for export competitiveness. When SMEs connect to markets, international or domestic markets, as we've heard during these days, it means better jobs and higher wages spread across a wide cross-section of societies. This is why it makes sense for governments, international organizations like the International Trade Center, and the private sector to work together to help make this happen. This is why it is important to keep trade high up on our agenda as a means to achieve good growth. Before closing, I want us all to take a step back and remind ourselves that trade, investment, and international business deals represent much more. Individually, they are the lifeblood of competitive SMEs. Collectively, they add up to expanded life opportunities for women, men, and young people that have all often been left on the margins of our growing prosperity. We hope that making sure the multilateral trade system remains open and transparent to allow SMEs to trade is at the core of the discussions in Nairobi in December at the World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference. In closing, I was especially pleased that this conference was framed by the commitments all UN members made a few weeks ago in New York on the United Nations Global Goals for Sustainable Development. As Rwandan Minister Valentin Rugwabiza said yesterday, let's WEDF 2015 be remembered as the start of the implementation of the global goals with business and governments coming together. Finally, I am delighted to announce that next year's edition of the World Export Development Forum will be held in Sri Lanka. I look forward to welcoming you all to Sri Lanka next year. Thank you very much, and a big applause to the teams in QDB and ITC that brought this event to you. Thank you.